Welcome to A Bit of Board Games, a casual podcast documenting the many failures and hopefully successes of Waffle Games, as we learn the ins and outs of board game design and self-publishing. Join us on this journey as we talk about a bit of life, a bit of design, and a bit of board games. Hey everyone, thanks again for joining us for A Bit of Board Games. We are Waffle Games. I'm Stephen. I make pretty things and and design the games.
Hey guys, I'm Trevor. I'm operations manager, and I also help design the games. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm the artistic manager.
Oh, well, that sounds pretty cool too.
Creative manager. You just sounded too official. Operations manager. I'm like, I make pretty things.
Hey guys, I operate pretty things.
There you go. Oh man, dude, I've been daylight savings time. Is that wait?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what just happened?
Yeah, I think it just became that.
What is it called? Otherwise.
Otherwise?
Yeah, like
I don't know. I'll look it up while you keep talking.
Okay. Is it not actually? Maybe it's just normal time then. Daylight savings time is like until November or something, and then when it's not that, is it just like time?
It
daylight
comes up
time.
Daylight savings time versus regular time is what came up in my Google search. Or the other option is daylight savings time and heart attacks. So I don't know why that's in there.
Because people get stressed from daylight savings time and causes
all
kinds of stuff. Dude, there's like been some crazy studies about how like daylight savings time like really negatively affects people. And like,
you mean like causes anxiety and stuff?
Well, yeah, and like even like in like schools, like how like when the time change happens, you know, on either side or whatever, it like really messes with kids' schedules. And like two negative things. One, it like they are more tired going to school, and so it causes a lot more accidents like of kids driving, like older like high school kids, whatever. And then also just like performance for like that day of the change just has a big negative impact on stuff. So
interesting. It's almost like when the full moon's out. Yeah,
we all turn to werewolves and just like people just get torn apart. Like
very similar.
Yeah.
Hey, so tell us what's going on in your life right now.
Oh yeah, still baby Henry.
King Henry
is not here yet. So his official due date was on Saturday the 12th, and so we are over that point now, which technically like they can go up to like 41 weeks or something. But our doctor just kind of recommended that, well, we just got something on the schedule to induce to just have him come so it doesn't get to a point where it becomes risky or anything like that. So we are actually going to the hospital tonight at 10 p.m. This is, again, this is Monday, March 14th, 2022.
We'll get better at that.
Yeah. Because we record on Mondays, podcast comes out Thursdays because life. And anyway, yeah, so we're going to the hospital at 10 p.m. tonight. And then, like, they'll do some stuff overnight. We'll actually get to rest most of the night, it sounds like, as much as we can in a hospital room or whatever.
Yeah, I can't think of anything more fun than spending a night in the hospital waiting for a baby. Yeah.
But then they like will give the medicine and stuff to actually like start labor in the morning sometime. So then
after you've had a nice full night's sleep, that's when the fun starts.
Rested night's sleep, cramped on the little mini couch that they might have in the room for me. Which I learned last time that I'm bringing my own pillow and my own blanket to the hospital, because since I'm not a patient, like they can't actually really give me anything.
Right.
So I've got like my little bag of like ibuprofen and Tylenol, whatever. Because like they can't give me medicine like if I have a headache and like even little things like that. So and then last time I think I ended up using my wife's pillow that she brought, because they gave her pillows, but I didn't have a pillow.
Gotcha.
And they gave me like this thin little blanket to sleep on this little baby couch that I was like awkwardly curled up in. And I was just so cold. So I'm like, I'm bringing my own pillow, bringing my own blanket. I'm just moving in for the day or two we're gonna be there. So
bring in a microwave and your dishwasher.
Yeah, that's right. Bring my fridge. Bring my gaming computer. Like, honey, you okay? I'm just gonna go play some Minecraft here. I think that would go over well.
I think she would appreciate that. Yeah, I heard that they're pretty good on their own once they get there.
Honey, look, I built an imaginary nursery for our son. I built his room here, so in 7 years, when he can play, I don't know how old kids can play video games, then he can have his own room.
Exactly. Well, the other thing that's going on, aside from King Henry, which I'm very excited about, we're all very excited to hear how that goes, and we hope it's it's smooth and all that. This is the first time you're inducing, by the way, right? You didn't do that with your firstborn.
We actually had to with Cece.
Okay. So you kind of know what the process is like.
Yeah, so it'll be pretty similar. Like with our first, like Libby's water broke. My wife is Libby, by the way. And so we went to the hospital, but like she wasn't far enough along after like a period of time, so they ended up just having to induce her. So like it's gonna be pretty much the same process, just without like all the lead up to it. So this one might actually be more restful because we'll just be hanging out at the beginning mostly. So
very cool. Well, okay, so it sounds like you kind of know what to expect then, so that's good.
I think so.
The other thing that I know that you're very excited about that's coming up this week is March Madness, baby.
Yeah, the sports games.
I know that you don't pay too much attention to college basketball, but my wife is a huge Auburn fan, and they are seeded number 2 in the bracket, which is pretty exciting. The bummer about the whole situation, honestly, is that my sister goes to Baylor. She's a captain of her cheer team down there. And they are also, I think Baylor's seeded number 1. So it's like, as I'm putting my bracket together, I got to pick and choose. Do I support my wife's team or do I support my sister's team? Either way, I'm going to have somebody mad at me. So
well, number 2 is just first loser, so I should probably just go with Baylor.
Yeah, there you go. We'll have to figure out how I'm going to navigate all that. But it is a super fun time coming up. I love watching March Madness.
Dude, just create 2 different brackets. And then just have one geared like towards Auburn for your wife, and only ever discuss and show her that one. And then for your sister, you can create one for Baylor, and then however good Baylor does, you can only ever show her and discuss that one.
Well, but here's the thing. So we've got an extended family bracket. So I got all my cousins, aunts and uncles, grandparents. So that's the one that really matters. Yeah. So that, whatever I put down as my decision for that. That's a
completely different team then. Just go with a completely different team.
just go. Well, but here's the thing: if I do that, I'll be sleeping on the couch either way. So I gotta figure out how I'm gonna. All right. Well, then you manage this.
I mean, if it's gonna affect your life and sleep quality, like you got to go with whatever one affects your day-to-day life. So.
I did think that maybe I could get away with it by bringing home some flowers and saying, "Hey, honey, I got you some flowers. By the way, have you checked out the bracket?"
Yeah.
And maybe try it from there.
Well,
we'll see how it goes.
Can't you just go with Nebraska? Because isn't that your team?
If they made the tournament, I could definitely do
they're not even in the tournament at all?
They're not in the tournament, no.
Yikes.
They did make it a couple of years ago, but I think they were out after the first game. So.
Awkward.
You win some, you lose some. Yeah. But I'll keep you all posted on how that transpires. But very excited. March Madness is definitely a fun time. So
it's a mad time.
Right.
Yeah, so well, that all this is not March Madness doesn't affect this, but having this baby is going to affect probably the next 2 weeks of this stuff. So like most likely we probably won't do a podcast next week because I think Trevor's out of town as well. So we won't have that one come out next week. But we'll try to come back the week after that, which I think I should be able to get away for an hour or so
might be possible, but we're not gonna have any expectations. You need to do what you gotta do.
So anyway, just for all of our listeners, which thanks again like so much to everyone who has been checking this out, like really appreciate that. I think we've had
absolutely
30 downloads roughly on each episode.
That's great. Yeah,
in the first 3, so that's pretty crazy. Like it's probably mostly just like our friends and family that I've told to watch it.
Well, you got to start somewhere, and I mean, It's not like we're forcing them to keep listening. So
Yeah,
the fact that they're still here is, yeah, it's very cool.
I guess we're just that entertaining. Um,
They just love us so much.
yeah,
No, we really do. We appreciate everyone who's paying attention to what we're doing. We're very excited about this project, and
yeah,
Stephen and I have been friends for a long time. This is something we've been wanting to do. So the fact that we're at this point now, and we've got something that we're really working for and working towards is pretty exciting. We're really excited about the direction of this thing and what we've been able to do so far. So
yeah. Speaking of direction of this thing,
yeah.
so Trevor and I were just working on the uh, okay. The working title is Forge Trials right now, just so we have something to refer to it as.
Forge Trials.
And we were working on that this morning, and we realized kind of what we described last time. Felt we want something that's not too complex, like we talked about, but I feel like we were almost going too light in how the game was going to work,
Right.
and it, to the point where it didn't really even feel like it was a crafting game anymore, because it had like one resource and like one
Right.
thing. It was just kind of like, okay, seemed pretty simple, like, which could be good, and like those games are great for in their own right. But I think what we wanted was kind of more of that feeling of like that you're actually crafting stuff. And so we kind of tweaked some things this morning, changed some things out. Well, I was working on that this morning, and then we just kind of got together to talk about this stuff. And so we kind of added another resource, which is either going to be called scrap or like shards or something,
Some sort of material. Yeah.
and added some more elements that people, like the players, will interact more together. So rather than just having it like, hey, you buy this stuff and do your own thing, and like maybe the blueprint ability will let you change something to your against your opponent. We've tweaked it a little bit so that kind of before, how we had the idea of like there was a market of blueprints that you could like choose to buy which one you wanted to go for. Instead, now there's going to be just different decks of blueprint cards that will have different quality. So again, rather than like getting the blueprint and choosing if you want to craft the tier 1 or the tier 2 version, we're just going to have like a tier 1, 2, and 3 deck of blueprint cards that'll be like equivalent to like common, rare, legendary, or whatever we end up calling them, but that's the general premise there.
Right,
and then
you're purchasing those, right? At
yes,
different levels.
Yeah, so that's going to be with like the currency that you're purchasing, the main currency you're purchasing, those different levels. But then obviously the hard, like the legendary ones will be more expensive, be more materials to craft, and but will give you more forge points, victory points at the end.
Higher level abilities as well.
Yeah. And so like we've kind of tweaked that a little bit to fit more in that fantasy realm of things. And then also, so that changes that market thing, but we changed the market to be just a like, what is it, like an underground, what are we calling it? I don't know what we're calling it.
We've got a lot of working titles for a lot of different aspects of the game, but the archive, something like that, where players can come together and put cards or blueprints that they don't want to craft necessarily themselves out for other players to purchase from them. And so that wouldn't be with the currency that they originally bought the blueprints for. It would be with kind of like an insider trading currency that I think we're calling scrap right now, or something like that. So
yeah, so like behind the teacher's back, essentially they're trading the blueprints, or behind the master's backs, they're like trading the blueprints that they didn't want to craft for other ones, but then by doing that they get more of the secondary crafting resource to make stuff. So like that'll have more player interaction rather than just a basic market in the middle. It's going to be more of like a trade, secondhand-ish market type thing, black market, if you will.
Well, it's also going to give the players an opportunity to really find the blueprints that they're wanting to craft, because something that we changed, I don't know if we talked about this last time, but something we changed is that instead of the decks, so these 3 quality of decks, common, rare, legendary, I guess, whatever we'll end up calling them, they're all going to be face down. So when the players are purchasing those, they're not necessarily going to know what they're going to end up with in their hand. And so if they don't find the type of blueprint, so we talked about how we're going to have combat, defense, utility, maybe they're going for a strong utility build. If they don't find maybe a legendary utility card based off what they're able to purchase, maybe somebody else that they're playing with does find that and they don't want to craft a utility card, and so they put it down in the player market for other players to purchase from them. So it gives them kind of unique opportunities to still play for what they're going for, but now it's also going to benefit the other players who are putting that up for grabs.
Yeah, and that'll be really cool because then you can get more of that like scrap material to then craft your own blueprints or like use for, your own whatever you want to use that for, and it kind of just creates like a like a fluidity of the game of kind of like resources flowing back and forth and
right,
people interacting more with that kind of stuff. So
I think we're really liking the direction and I think we started off, and we still are. The goal is to make this as simple as we can because it is our first game. We chose a card game for a reason instead of having to do a board for needing to have a bunch of different elements. We are going to have some elements still in this game outside of cards, some tokens and dice and stuff like that, but we don't want it to be so simple that it takes away the fun parts of the game. And so I think having that baseline of simplicity again is really good for us as we're going forward. But we're at the point now where we're starting to think through this, and we're finding elements that we can add to it without having to necessarily increase the difficulty of what the players are necessarily trying to do. We just want to improve the quality, I guess.
Yeah, so. we don't want it so simple that like people be like, okay, like that doesn't look fun. Like,
right.
We want it to have it's going to be striking a balance of, simple enough to bring in people, to like get to interest people in wanting to play it who aren't into like super intense games. But then also like we want to attract, the people that are into this like theme and like crafting and fantasy type stuff.
And maybe a level of strategy that entices them to
because there's still definitely gonna be strategy involved with how you do stuff. And so like we want, our target market is everyone, which is a really dumb thing, but that's not entirely true. I think it's still kind of like a little bit of a niche market for this game, but I think it'll be really fun for like all complexity levels that people enjoy. And then because we want to attract, some of the games we want to do in the future might be more complex games. So like if we can attract that kind of audience with some of the stuff we're doing now, and then they hopefully would follow and be interested in our games in the future as well.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. No, I think it's definitely good. I think we're hitting it on the mark right now, and I am excited though, as you guys, as the listeners are listening to this and kind of following us in our lines of thought, if you have ideas or things that maybe you disagree with the direction we're going, maybe you have additional thoughts, or you're just kind of listening in and you go, man, it'd be really cool if they added this element. We'd love to hear from you guys, because we're just two guys bouncing ideas off each other. If there's other elements or things that you guys think would be unique or add to the game that we're building right now, we'd love to hear that. And Stephen, remind them where they can go to throw up thoughts or questions.
Don't throw up on our website. But if you want to contact us, we have all of the social media accounts. I mean, not all of them. We've got like Twitter, Instagram, those, and I guess Facebook too. But like we're not I don't check those frequently, and I'm not on those a lot. And Trevor like just doesn't do social media, so we got our social media presence is super solid. So I think the best place would either be on our website at bitwafflegames.com, and then the contact page, or I created a Discord channel, which I don't know that I told you that, Trevor.
Oh, yeah, that's super neat. I knew we were going to do it, but I didn't know you had made it, so that's great.
Yeah, I still got some things to adjust, but there's some... I've made like our side of things kind of more private, but added other areas for like community to engage in, comment in, whatever, and we'll post updates there too. So I don't know...
How would people join that?
So there is a link. I guess the best way right now would be go to our website, bitwafflegames.com, and then scroll to the bottom, and there's a little icon, a Discord icon, and you click that, and that is like the invite link that should take you directly to our Discord channel. And then in there's like a community tab where people can chat, about game design, Kickstarter, podcast questions, stuff like that. So if you have a question, go ahead and type that in the category. If you just want to, chat and do whatever in there. Our goal would be to, have some kind of community involvement once we have enough people that are interested in just have like a chill place where people can connect and talk about, games that maybe they're working on too, and like bounce ideas off each other. I just think it'd be a cool place to, network and connect with other game designers, other gamers, other people that like this stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Very cool. I'm glad we have that option now. I think that'll be really sweet once we kind of have even more material for people to take a look at. We can have more discussions in that section as well. So
yeah, and we talked about having some photos and stuff of like our prototypes, which we're still going to do. We just haven't had time to do that right now because I've been anticipating a baby any day, and it's just been a weird time.
Yeah, we were talking about play testing, but we kind of had assumed that King Henry would be here by now.
Right.
Might be able to do something in the meantime, but because that's kind of been an ongoing process, Stephen and I have yet to connect in person to actually do sort of the simple play testing that we had discussed before. But that'll be coming down the pike as we get closer to it, and obviously as Henry arrives, we'll be able to kind of build from there. What were you going to say?
So coming down the pike, what does that mean? Like I've heard I always thought it was coming down the pipe.
Oh man, am I saying a phrase wrong? I'm pretty sure it's coming down the pike, but
I'm looking this up.
It looks like it's coming down the pike. If you say something is coming down the pike, it means it's going to happen sometime soon. I don't know.
Okay, hang on. There's another thing here. Whether it's
coming down a pike or a pipe.
What is this pike you speak of? Simply a shortening of turnpike. Oh.
Okay.
So that's like a highway-ish thing. Wait, the first example of turnpike is a spiked barrier that's fixed in or across the road as a defense mechanism. Well, that's not what I want. Our modern turnpikes still have barriers, except there's a person in bright yellow and orange vest who is more pleasant. What? So it's like a toll? Sounds like it's like a...
I don't know.
A turnpike, is that just like a toll highway, like a toll road kind of thing? Pike is still more common, but pipe is starting to catch on.
I think turnpike, I always just viewed it as a destination. So as it's coming down the pike, it's like you're arriving your destination.
Sorry. Okay. Well, because I remember hearing you say that like in one of our first 2 episodes, and when I was editing it, and I'm like, is that right?
Well, I'm glad you brought it up, because if I was wrong, I would have wanted to know. So at least I know I'm not a complete idiot right now. But,
yeah, that's 1 point in your favor.
Yeah, I'll take that as a win. Anytime I can take a win, I'll take it.
Okay. Anyway, I was really wondering about that. I just didn't know.
Yeah, I could have very easily been wrong. So
as it's coming down I can't think of other things. Never mind. Anyway, I think that about wraps up this episode.
Yeah, I think so. I think like we said, I think we may be taking a week or 2 off potentially podcast, but we'll definitely be doing stuff in the background in the meantime, and I'll definitely be trying to in the pike.
We'll be doing stuff in the pike.
We'll be in the middle of the pike.
We'll pike it up,
trying to get some stuff done. But I think we'll definitely have a good amount of material the next time you guys see us or hear from us. We'll hopefully have a nice update and keep moving in the right direction. So
yeah, so if you guys wanted to again keep up to date with what we're working on, go ahead and follow our socials. Someday we might post things at Waffle Games, and then our website bitwafflegames.com can connect you to our Discord, or you can ask questions directly from there. So thanks again for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Yep, see ya.